Dr. Robb.
Thank you. I'm very pleased to introduce Dr. Cates, who will be sharing the instructional vision with you this evening. At our last meeting, Mr. Thurs made a presentation about the upcoming levy. And this topic is also on our meeting agenda tonight, and then we will be voting on that at the December 8th board meeting. So I thought, since it's our tax levy that really supports all of our academic programs, that it would be important for you that we kind of share our vision with you as far as what's happening in the instruction piece of the world. So what I'd like to do is kind of take you back a few years, and it was October 25th in 2007. And at that time, that was really the last time. Actually, I made a presentation about the 2007 Instructional Progress and Status Report. So that's really the last time we've come to the board with a status report. So tonight, what I'd like to do is update you. We have several new board members who were not there at the time. So what I'd like to do is kind of give you just a brief history of the instructional pathway. Then I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Cates, and he's going to take us into the future. First of all, I want you to know that significant input was from members, I see many of them here, of the instructional team, but also from our principals and administrative council. So we've kind of debated these issues, and we're confident in the direction. One of the things as board members, you know that each year we bring forward academic goals, and we kind of revise those goals each year. And then we also give you a progress report on those goals at the end of the school year. But what I think is important to know is these goals really support our mission in District 211. And I think all of us know that our community has very high expectations for us and what we do in our programs. I believe they expect that their sons and daughters should be able to reach their potential, but they want them to be really ready for this global society. So the mission statement is really the underpinning of what we have in the vision that we're going to bring to you tonight. Now, if you take us back to 2007 when I made the presentation, there were really 5 key points that we emphasized in academic preparation for all students. The first was increased rigor. Now, at that time, we had received the PSAE scores, and we noticed that we wanted students to have stronger mathematics skills. So what we did was we added a 3rd-year math program, but we also required all of our students to take an additional math course for graduation. So that was some of the things we did for increased rigor. In addition, we established Academy North, and at that point in time, we believed that for our special needs students, that was a stronger academic preparation if we would bring that into our district. So that was one of the points we really tried to emphasize. We also had acceleration opportunities. If I take us back to 2007, we had 25% of our students were in the general level classes. And if you look at 2011, we have 14% of our students. So again, that's a positive trend. We want less students in our general level classes. But let's take a look at that other end. If you look at the AP classes, what's happening is that we had 29% of our students who were taking advanced placement classes in 2007, and now in 2011, we have 43% of our students. Again, I believe that's showing a positive trend. And then we looked at increased time. We had to get creative with the time piece. So one of the things we did, sometimes what we would do is we would have a double class period of mathematics, or maybe an extended class. But the other thing we found that was we had a summertime, we had a gap in the summer that we believed for some of the students who needed increased opportunities in their English skills, their writing skills, their reading skills, and in mathematics, then what we try to do is offer opportunities. And that was really with the Board of Education, with your support, because those programs were offered free of charge. And we had the Incoming Freshman Academy, we offered the Sophomore Academy, and then we also looked at the ESL Academy. So that was our way to really increase the use of time. And then also increase the use of data. The data was through our MAP testing. I think you've heard much about MAP since that time. Our center schools all use MAP, so that was a helpful transition for us. But we also focused on the disaggregated data from the PSAE test. And then our final point of emphasis was really looking at developing academic initiatives. And we had so many initiatives that we were looking at that time. But one of the things as a board I think that you did that was very supportive is that we started to offer tutoring centers and academic centers for students to get additional help. But as you can see in that list of the initiatives, we had many that were related to math, but also we had many that were also related to advancing students in their coursework. So if we take a look at 2007 to the present, some of the additional programs that we have, you can see the emphasis has changed just a bit, that we're focusing on the career pathways and certification, as well as increasing rigor for our students. So if we take a look at Project Lead the Way, and Terry gave me these numbers the other day, we have 631 students in those 4 engineering classes. That has been just a great program for our students. If we take a look at the Health Careers Pathway, we have 331 students that are currently enrolled in medical terminology, and we have almost 300 students in our anatomy and physiology classes. So if any of you have been able to see the CNA program at Conant High School, we currently have 28 students in that program. Obviously, we know about our Mandarin Chinese. We'll be offering the 3rd year next year. But if you take a look at the added courses that we have, many of those are in the advanced placement courses. And Board, I'm not certain that we gave you the stats on this, but for our freshmen, for the first time freshman year, we did offer AP Human Geography to freshmen. We had 51 students taking that, with 83% of our students earning a passing score. We also had 85 students taking the AP World History. And again, 81% of the students were earning a passing score. So as you can see, that was something that was an initiative last year, but our students are finding great success. If we try to look at how can we continue to improve, one of the things is we always look at research. The research, it's kind of amazing that all the researchers at this point are agreeing. What they're looking at is a fundamental shift. We're not looking at the teaching and just the content of what is taught, but what we're doing is we're much more accountable to focus on what do the students actually learn. So all the research is showing us, let's be accountable, let's focus on what they learn. Also, the teacher can no longer be isolated and in a room with that door closed. It's a collaboration that makes a difference, as well as that intense focus on results and data. So then if we take a look at our current District 211 state of school improvement, it mirrors what the researchers are telling us is best practice in the field. We have our professional learning teams that we've been working with for the past several years. Our formative assessments, we just had Cassie Erkins in here today that she spent with probably 80 of us in looking at how can we create better formative assessments. Again, assessing for learning, as the students are learning, that we can make adjustments along the way rather than assessment for learning. Again, the common benchmark assessments, there was a focus on that today as well. So across the district, can we look at how we can have those benchmark assessments? And obviously most of that work is getting completed in our early morning work sessions. So Dan, I think I'll let you take over here, but I think that kind of gives us an overview of the past, taking us into current, and now let's take a look at the future. Dr. Cates.
Thank you, Dr. Robb. My role is to describe the future instructional vision for Township High School District 211. And I'd like to set that current context with what we face locally and globally. We are all aware of the financial uncertainty, if not instability, in our state, across our nation, and across the globe. Unemployment rates are up, and at the same time, our financial status and mandates continue to increase while government funding continues to decrease. We face similar challenges locally. More and more of our students are economically disadvantaged. In fact, our free and reduced students who qualify for free and reduced lunches have increased by 250% in the last 10 years alone. What was once 8% now stands at 28%. If you were to walk down the hallways in 2 of our schools, 4 out of every 10 students that you meet will qualify for free and reduced lunches. While the enrollment in our schools are projected to decrease in the coming years, our minority populations continue to increase, particularly among our Hispanic students. This is the current context within which we are going to establish and move forward with our instructional vision. A repeated question that I hear from Dr. Robb is this: What can we do to increase advantages for our students? Given that context, that is the direction that we are asking ourselves and the question we are facing with this instructional vision. What can we do in this instructional vision that will help create advantages for our students, for your children, and for the children of all the rest of the families in our community? This graphic will help organize the many terms and ideas that all factor into the instructional vision. In the center, you see the core components of what we have just heard from Dr. Robb described as the way toward continuous school improvement. Outside the yellow box, you will find the 4 components that make up the ways that we will continue to enhance and expand our instructional vision in the coming years. While these 4 components are different, they are all related to one another. Our entire instructional vision is made of all of the components on this graphic. We know that our students are more than scores, but we also know that it takes multiple variables and factors to help increase our scores. The students that we have for our schools for 4 years will face a variety of social and developmental challenges. They will be continuously connected to the social media. It's very likely throughout the course of their high school that they will experience pressures related to the job market or college admissions. And we know that more and more of our students face economic pressures in their own homes or in their neighborhoods. This is a multiple part instructional vision because there is no single curriculum theory or solution that will solve the current context and these challenges that we face. Just like we hope to deal with the entire student and all aspects of the student, our instructional program must have multiple components to it. The first component of the 4 that I will describe is what I call 20/20 vision. We are clear in our vision that our current course is the one we should stay on. We do not need correctional lenses to help us see clearly that the current course we are on we should maintain. The second is it occurred to me that in 2016, the students entering our schools will be the class of 2020. Our educational mission calls on us to serve the educational needs of those students, to create opportunities for them so that they can pursue the college and career of their choice. So again, to reemphasize, our future instructional vision will maintain our current course of emphasizing critical learning standards, our assessments, and the work taking place in our professional learning communities. This is backed by research, and you will continue to hear about this work. In addition, I'm going to describe for each of the 4 components 8 features that will be implemented to help realize and implement that vision. Now in your board docs, it's going to proceed from the upper left-hand corner around in a clockwise motion to the right in case you are unable to see one of the screens. So in the future, we will continue to emphasize career pathways and certifications while students are in high school, again, to create opportunities and to build as many possibilities for dual credit as possible. We will develop 21st century skills, and I will describe those in just one moment. We will align our courses and our curriculum with current job trend markets. In addition, you will see more nonfiction reading and nonfiction writing as we look to increase even higher levels of mathematics. We understand that our students will need to operate within a global environment and develop matters of financial literacy, understanding personal financial terms and principles that will apply to them. Projects will be used to apply 21st century learning skills. As we started to describe to you last spring, we continue to look at our grading practices relative to our established standards and to ensure that our grading is relative to the standards that we are expecting. Lastly, we are already aligning and devising our curriculum to align with the core common curriculum across the nation. I've made references several times to career pathways, and why is that? We know that our employers are looking for employees now who have creativity and collaboration skills to solve complex problems at work. We anticipate that we will see job growth in the areas of the service industry, but particularly as they relate to those in information and innovation. These types of jobs are nursing and health careers, engineering, and third, those that are associated with information technology and communication systems. Those jobs all require 21st century learning skills, what have been called the 3 R's and the 4 C's that you see on your screen. I was in a meeting recently with an executive from Motorola, and it was about the future of technology. And he kept stressing that while it's important for his employees to have technical skills, what he wanted us to stress was the critical importance of developing their ability to collaborate and communicate to solve problems within the teams that they had at Motorola. The second aspect of our instructional vision is the opportunity to access and utilize technology. Now, for certain, technology cannot replace the need for excellent teaching or excellent teachers. However, technology can help shape instruction and learning. Regardless of the type of employment in the future, it will most certainly almost involve some form of use of technology. Any opportunity that we have to employ a chance for our students to apply technology in high school will help create advantages for them. So within the next 5 years, we hope to ensure that every teacher, every student in every class has meaningful access to technology. We anticipate that more and more of our content will be electronic, and we will see fewer textbooks. We know that every day more applications are being developed for handheld devices to ensure anytime, anywhere learning that extend beyond the school walls. Our media centers will continue to become places where students can develop deep research skills that extend far beyond our bookshelves. And we know that we will look to have applications that are job-like situations, much like the one you saw recently with the Project Lead the Way presentation. We have partnered and work alongside students now to help devise and understand the ways that they are using technology and how we can align our applications to those. And we will see more online courses for both students and teachers. In fact, we are devising our first online course to be taking place to help students learn keyboarding. We're now at our third component. The wonder of public education is that we have the opportunity to serve every single student in our communities. Now, to fully do this and to efficiently do this most helpfully, we need to understand their needs, but also we need to understand what is real to them, both inside our schools and outside our schools. The second component makes reference to living in a global community. Despite the population increasing, the world is actually getting smaller. And third, we know that the world that our students will continue to live in is going to have an aspect of social media that is immovable at this point. So in the next 5 years, we know we will deal with financially challenged students and families. Many of those students or their families will not be able to speak English. We will continue to search for ways to engage those students, extend beyond the schoolhouse. We have a wonderful opportunity to celebrate differences and diversity in our schools among all of our student body. We will continue to develop interpersonal skills that will become important as students use technology more and more, and develop active participants for our students to be citizens and active participating citizens. We know that many of our students come to us, although we speak about college readiness, there are many students we have to develop high school readiness. They don't understand the unwritten rules of a large public high school, and sometimes those that are written. We have found that to be helpful among a certain population to help students become even ready to function within our schools. And last, we know that we will be helping students to develop social media responsibility. The fourth component will continue to emphasize and draw upon the use of data in making our decisions. Interdata dependence is the connection and sharing of data across all parties in all areas of the organization. What does that look like? Deliberate alignment with our junior high schools and our Harvard College partners next door continues in a regular fashion in a meaningful way to help build efficient pathways for our students at both ends. Teachers will be commonplace for them to use formative assessments to guide their instruction. Students will have clear understanding of how their performance rates to the standards we have established. The benchmark results will help guide the instruction for us across the district to see how we're doing with our curriculum and our instruction across the district. And last, we used data to confirm the college readiness both before they leave us and also after they've entered school to see how successful they can become. PLTs within the professional learning teams will continue to share data about student performance and document that on our school improvement documentation and intervention action plans that you have seen here previously. And then ultimately, we continue to hope to build quality evaluation and measurability to make sure that the systems and supports we have in place are indeed efficient. The instructional vision for Township High School District 211 in the coming 5 years and beyond will continue to draw upon the components of professional learning communities. In addition, we will continue to enhance and expand the 4 pillars that I've just described so that we can create more opportunities for our students in this current context. On behalf of many administrators, teachers, parents, and students, I'd like to thank you for the countless opportunities that you create for our students. It is your support and stewardship that helps create and make these opportunities and advantages a reality. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. I appreciate the presentation. I like the way it's been set up. I like the categories, and I really appreciate the different clusters of activities that go around the those 4 pillars there. So it's good to take a look at that. I mean, it's things that we can look at as we develop budgets throughout the year and meeting these needs. So this is just an outstanding presentation. Thank you very much, Dr. Robb, and to the staff that put this together.
Thanks, Dr. Cates, and we have many of our instructional team. I see Gary's here as well, so thank you. A lot of input on this one.
Mr. Gerber, Dr. Cates, is there a relationship with division and what's going on with P20?
Yes, we do believe that the P20 will have an aspect in terms of our continuation of college readiness, both before they leave us and after they leave us, in terms of gathering that data. We do believe that those connections are what they are trying to put in place so that we can gauge how our students making the growth during the time they're in high school and throughout school, and then even beyond the time when they leave us.
Are we relying on them for data, or are we moving forward with our own plan to ensure the data?
We have been collecting our own data. This year is the first year we've also been able to access some information and data from the ACT about some of that information. We'll continue to see that in the future, I believe. But as the state is able to access information about our courses and our bridges in terms of student performance, I think you're going to start to see a much more increased awareness or heightened access to information throughout the course of the B20 range, if you will.
And I would have to add that we continue to have the articulation meetings with District 15 and 54, and we share data every meeting that we have. And also, on the other side with Harper College, we have been doing much more as far as sharing the data that we have, the compass test our students are taking. So that is becoming something that will be very, very helpful for us as we move forward, because obviously we're trying to look at having more dual credit courses, and that the data will be important for us to analyze to see what's working.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Thanks.